First, let's extend a big round of applause to Paul for his playing before the town hall, as always. Greatly appreciate that. And really appreciate, again, seeing you in those new blue shirts, Paul. It's a bright spot to hear you're playing across in the subway there, too. So appreciate all that you do to support Charterhouse and the clinic. Again, welcome everyone to the June Town Hall already today. Pleasure to be with so many of you. We must first start off with recognizing some great news. Some of you know this, but we had our biannual assisted living survey last week. The state of Minnesota licenses our assisted living. And as you might know, we are Minnesota's largest at 345 beds because of our licensure over our tower of independent living apartments as well. For them to come survey us is no easy feat, when the average community is 5 to 6 beds of a group home style arrangement. Our first survey under this new licensure was in early 2024, so they were a bit overdue for our survey, but again, on a community of our size and scale, that's challenging for them to navigate. From where we were in the last survey to the survey last week, we saw a 2/3 reduction in concerns found by the state surveyors. I think that's a really significant number or reduction to point out. And additionally, there were no concerns found with the care, with the services, with the dining, with the cleanliness. There were concerns regarding things like cutting boards having too many scores, right? Truly. That was one of the concerns, was that our cutting boards had too many scores, which I thought was the purpose of a cutting board, but what do I know? That is the extent at which the surveyors had to dig to find fault in Charterhouse and the operation that we have here in your home. We are incredibly proud of all of the work that the team does here every day to get to this result, and have already implemented some plans of correction and refinement for a few of those concerns that were noted. But again, just want to really highlight and kick us off with some great news of this recent survey result and the success from last week. Additionally, want to celebrate and recognize our outgoing resident council members in this season of transition, welcome our newly elected members, and wish congratulations to President Rosemary Williams. I don't think I see Rosemary here today yet. Vice President Carol Carrier, don't think I've seen Carol, and Secretary Dr. Frank Ernest. So congratulations to our new leadership of the Residents Council. We look forward to our collaboration and partnership in this next year together. Finally, we have our Employee of the Month and our Rookie of the Month for the month of June. Many of you may know Caitlin Fell, seated to our right, my left, you are right over there. She is our administrative assistant who primarily supports health services and administration. But she played a very key role in the go live of our new health record system, Point Click Care. So want to recognize and say thank you once again to Caitlin Fell, our Employee of the Month for the month of June. And our Rookie of the Month for the month of June is Shalise Kurtz. Some of you may know Shalise. She's been with us since late last year. She plays a very key role on our team because she is the one that has stood up and made happen our group enrichment program that some of you really depend upon or appreciate as a caregiver support initiative. So Shalise is not here with us at the moment, but she is our Rookie of the Month and is under the Therapeutic Recreation or Activities team, and she is our coordinator and organizer of our group enrichment program. So congratulations as well to Shalise for Rookie of the Month. Again, a reminder, as always, you know where to find the COT cards to recognize employees that are going above and beyond in the work that they do here in the community. While the mailroom is closed, there are still 4 locations. There are still 5 locations where you can find the cards and the submission boxes on the catered living floors at the entrance, enhanced living, the rehab center, and for those of you in the tower, in the north view kind of entrance wall space. I want to...
Can you change
Sorry, Lori.
the name of the card to something else? Because people won't know what it means. Yeah.
So the kind of gimmick, if you will, is that they're caught doing something outstanding.
I know. Yeah, maybe can you name it?
We can take that under advisement. Okay. We'll bring that one back. Good feedback, though. I appreciate that, Lori, for that consideration. Many residents who have submitted appreciation for staff members have maybe attached it to a card or even just written a letter and put it in the box. That's okay too. We want to welcome our colleagues here with us today. We have Sherry Robinson and Elizabeth Ann Fettner. Sherry Robinson recently was promoted within LCS and is now in a new role and a greater level of oversight, if you will, in the organization and for Charterhouse. So Sherry Robinson is kind of passing the baton on to Elizabeth Ann Fettner. So E.A. Fettner is now my direct supervisor in the LCS organizational structure, if you will, and is here for her first visit in this capacity to Charterhouse. So firstly, welcome E.A. to Charterhouse and to the team.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you here today, and I'm very excited and grateful for the opportunity to begin serving the team members and all of you here at Charterhouse. I've been with LCS for 15 years. 5 of those were actually serving at Trillium Woods up in Plymouth, Minnesota, as I fondly call it. I was the administrator and executive director there. So while I live in Pensacola, Florida, I feel like I still have a connection to the Midwest, and I'm so excited to be able to come back more often and serve y'all. It was at Trillium Woods where my path first crossed with Brittany. Brittany, early on in her career, worked at Trillium Woods, and so I'm really excited to get the opportunity to partner with Brittany again. As you all know, she is a very thoughtful, intelligent, and collaborative leader, and so to work with her again is really a privilege.
Thank you.
I actually visited your community last summer, so I got to know some of y'all as we shared some of the hospitality program at LCS. So I look forward to building more relationships and really supporting the team and the residents to advance your goals. So I'll be here afterwards if you'd like to come up and introduce yourself, and look forward to getting to know you on future visits as well. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you, EA. Thank you for all of your support, and again, welcome you both to Charterhouse this week. I did share with the Residents Council on Monday this week, but really want to reiterate the clear positive impacts of this LCS and Mayo and Charterhouse partnership over this last year and a half. I firmly believe that we would not have had the strong result in our assisted living survey last week without their support, advisement on regulatory compliance and best practices, and support to our operation, especially in the clinical space. So really want to emphasize the value in this partnership and hope that you see that in clear metrics and survey outcomes as one example. You may have heard or seen that we have our annual, we love surveys around here, it is our annual state quality of life survey next Wednesday. This is a requirement by the state of Minnesota. They call us and they say, we're planning to come on this date through their third-party arm, right? They contract with a survey body called Vital Research, and they will have surveyors here all day next Wednesday with a random sample of residents throughout the tower, catered and enhanced living that they will seek out to speak with. For a community of our size, we anticipate the sample to be 22 residents. between all levels of care except for the rehab center. So we appreciate your participation and your support if you are a part of that sample. In the meantime, we would love it if you have a concern now that maybe you plan to bring up to the surveyor next week. Maybe you want to tell me about that today, because I would love to fix it now, versus hearing about it in October, November from the survey result report, and then it's been bothering you for 6 months. So would really value if you have, nagging concerns about Charterhouse or about anything related to your life here. We appreciate knowing those so we can proactively and swiftly address them. Following that, later this fall, as we had last year, we'll have our annual resident engagement or satisfaction survey. You'll hear more about that from us later this summer. But that again would be all residents in the sample voluntarily participating in that paper survey like we had last year around that same time. So more to come on that this fall. But again, want to just keep that in the back of our minds and appreciate bringing concerns forward now. We continue to hold the nursing coffee chats and the admin coffee chats with Chris and I every month. And if you ever have a concern, a suggestion, feedback, we welcome it. We're happy to meet with you individually, small group, or with other members of our team as well. Certainly, Alicia, Lily, Allie, other directors and managers are present and are here to support you. So if you ever have a need, we would love to speak with you and address that. We found that we had not had a Google review in 9 months for Charterhouse. We know now in this era of AI, technology, the way in which our world works, so much of our kind of presence or popularity or overall feedback on the internet comes through Google reviews. A lot of people, when they're thinking about a place to work or live, Google it. Right? We call it Googling, even if we're not using Google. Right? We just say, I'll Google it. Well, I might use a different browser, but I'm still Googling it. So Google reviews are really important to us. And I know that we've had a few of you see this QR code and a flyer from us in the last week. Our marketing partners built this for us. But if you feel compelled and versed in this work, we would welcome you to get information from myself, Alicia, our marketing colleagues, or administrative assistants here in the admin office area. We can share this with you. If you want, you can scan this code from your phone now, right? You can scan that QR code with your camera app on your phone. It will take you to our Google review page and you can add a review. Dr. Brutnell, I know, wrote a lovely review last week. Thank you so much for doing that. That was our first one in 9 months. So it was great to see that pop up and to bring our star rating up even higher and to have some fresh feedback from someone who is living in this community every day. So please keep those reviews coming. If you have a not so positive review, the best place to put that maybe isn't Google, but it's telling me, Chris, Lily, Allie, someone, right, that maybe you have a 2-star experience and how we can address that. Because hearing about it again secondhand through Google, not the best place. So we hope that you would consider that. And again, if you've had a really positive experience or you have great feedback to share with future residents or future staff, appreciate you putting that out on a Google review. As we share most months, if you have any interest or desire to support us in volunteering, especially in the care venues, Kayla Conrad is your primary point of contact to do that. We are blessed with a growing number of blue shirts in our community who support the practice in a great way. And we would love to see more of that even happening here in Charterhouse. Supporting our students here with us this summer, volunteering in the care venues and activities and events, and are always here to speak with you if you have an interest in volunteering. A reminder, especially in this season of summer travel, if you will be away from Charterhouse overnight, even if only just for one night, please tell us. From an emergency preparedness perspective, and just knowing, if there's something that happens, is Harriet supposed to be here in her apartment? Where is Harriet, right? Oh, she's staying in Minneapolis this weekend visiting a friend or something, right? It's really hard for us if we don't know that, especially given our size and our environment. You might know this form as the pink form at the front desk. If you have any questions about that, please see an administrative assistant, the front desk staff. Please let us know, but we appreciate it. Even if you're staying just away one night visiting a child, a friend, going out of town, that's so valuable for us to know. Okay, we're bringing this back. You asked, we answered. I don't know how many people contacted me, calls, stops in the hallway, emails, concerned about the Mayo ID being on the new resident billing statements from the new health record. Right? Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of feedback on that. So appreciate you doing so. It was loud and clear this was a concern from residents, or a point of concern, not liking that number, which is also your number, if you will, in the new health record system, being printed on the statement. Mayo Revenue Cycle colleagues who manage that for us, along with our printing shop who prints all of our billing statements and sends them to you at Mayo, are currently dialoguing on how they can remove that from the two places in which it prints. I remain optimistic that you will not see it on your July statement, but I'm not going to promise that today. I don't have that information yet today to say that it will not be on there for certain, but we are actively working on that to remove those from your statements. Similarly, there was feedback in regards to maybe disliking the name or the charge title on the statement for those in the tower from room and board. Feeling like that is a little institutional of a name. It's a default in the system, right, in a setting like ours, but we are in the process of changing that to monthly service fee on your statement. Again, I can't promise that'll be done for July statements, but that is in process, and we've made that ask to have that changed in the system. Project updates. Tom Behrens couldn't be with us today, unfortunately, our interim director of facilities, so you're stuck with me, but we have a lot of great projects happening in this building, as so many of you know. You're living and seeing and feeling this every day in our community. Our new Wander Guard system, which is our elopement or wander management at the majority of our entrances or exits from the campus doors as well as the care venues, has soft launched. There is staff training and policy work and kind of refinement of that system taking place this week as our vendor is on site and working through any bugs or questions. But that is past the heaviest of lifts and proceeding on target. Again, there are two styles of device that one can wear. One is the more standardized, looks more like a pendant kind of does, like that square, off-white, kind of hard plastic on a band. The other style for kind of an upgrade or a premium version is more of a black Fitbit-like look. So especially for those that might want a more, just a different look and feel, or may have a preference to wear something like that, that's an option to upgrade to as well for future consideration. The fire alarm system project is continuing on track with finalized designing occurring with our architecture partners. Again, you may still have some intermittent noise that might occur on the west side of the building as they start that work. They have some real pre-work that's occurring before they start installing the system in your units. So if you have questions, please route those to facilities, but we are not quite at the peak of that project or seeing actual resident unit impact yet. The laundry room renovations are on track. The 7th floor is supposed to reopen tomorrow. It's laundry room. I have not heard any changes to that today, so I'm hopeful that's on target for tomorrow to reopen. And then from there, the 5th floor will close on Monday of next week. But again, barring any schedule changes or delays, but the 5th floor should start next Monday for closure and renovation. And then our final laundry room to be done is the 4th floor following the finishing of the 5th floor. The emergency call system install for your tower apartments, that has started. The Adair team and the maintenance team here have been installing units in the vacant or non-occupying units and areas first. For example, they're going to be working, I think, next week in the spa and salon as well, and some of those spaces that are, able to see their systems updated with minimal resident impact or disruption. As they keep learning about how long it takes to replace devices, how the system, works, as they get kind of a little more confidence in their install skills and abilities, then they'll move to your apartments in a phase structure, where again, being home will be vital for that install and replacement of your old system. So please watch for more information very soon from us on when we will start and where we will start installing in your units in the tower the new call system. Again, I see Jess McFarland in the back. She is our home health nurse manager. She and her team have the pendants sign-up forms for those that are in IHS who want to have a wearable pendant or bracelet as well with the new system. Again, free to IHS enrollees to have one of those. As we get ready to go to your apartments, sign up now so we can program it if you would like one. The front lobby, as you know, is under extensive renovation. We are, today's 24th, 8 days into our 6-month project, so we'll be finished any day now. And it's looking great. The next big thing for you all to do is to rate the new sample chairs when they come. We had 90 feedback forms, roughly, on the first 2 sample chairs, and I think you can beat that on the next sample chairs. So let's try to shoot for triple digits this time, but let's see what your thoughts are on the next sample chairs. So our great partner and Mayo interior designer for Charterhouse, Carol Carnes, who many of you know and many of you knew her parents, is working with us very closely and has more sample chairs on order. So watch for that from us soon. The mail delivery, as you know, is relocated to your wooden boxes for the next month, while they work on and update the other side of the mail room, where your metal mailboxes are. So about 1 more month of your mail going to the wooden boxes. If you have any concerns you're finding, your mail's not going to the right slot, or you're having any challenges with that, please let us know. We've had some residents who have had changes in their mobility device. For example, maybe they now use a wheelchair and they can't reach their mailbox up on a higher row of the mailboxes. Appreciate that feedback. We can make a swap. So just again, about 1 more month of that. There have been some concerns raised about what will happen when the seat or that little bench is removed before the new one is installed. I did confirm with Steve, our superintendent or foreman kind of person, if you will, for Beneke, that they will at minimum put a temporary chair in there, so there will not be any time where there is no seat or place to sit for someone in the mailroom. And again, your hours to get the mail are 4 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. in your wooden boxes. Alicia, facilities colleagues, many others at the front desk are finalizing the planning for the main entrance closure. We do not yet have a date for that to give to you, but know that we are feverishly working on the plan and what that looks like for vehicles picking you up, the bus, waiting, views, the sunroom logistics, a lot being discussed and finalized in these next couple of weeks before we make that closure happen. CLC 3, our catered living unit that is, as you know, closed under renovation, has had some great updates in the past month on its quest to reoccupy. The first new shower was ordered and installed. We wanted to just order one first to see if it fit and if we liked it before we ordered the other 14, right? Didn't want to have 15 here that we didn't like or that wouldn't fit. So the one is here. We like it, it's cleanable, it fits, so now the other 14 were ordered, and we're waiting for them to come in to be installed. The next project that will start in Catered Living Third, now that the call lights and things are wrapping up there too, are the ceiling tiles. They're going to be replacing the ceiling tiles on that unit to really complement the new lights and electrical. They need it. That unit is also under our discussions for the staffing level, what level of care, and who's going to live there. So a lot of work still ongoing with that unit, but making some great progress. Second and fourth floor of Catered are also getting renovated. The new lighting in the hallways and the common areas is done, and we are targeting doing the ceiling tiles on those units as well after doing third floor. The care venue call system replacement project is also in process. They've nearly finished the install and testing of it on the third floor, and they're now doing the pre-work on the fourth and second floors respectively. This system will add things, for example, like signaling lights above each suite's door frame, lights in the hallways to signal if somebody's call light's going off in a room in a corner, if you will, right, and the way that the unit is designed. A lot of enhancements to that system in those catered living areas. As we recognize our resident population ages, right, and our care needs are increasing with our pretty strong and consistent waiting list and enhanced, it's important for us as we do these projects to really future plan and to ensure that we're doing them to the full extent that we should our care needs continue to increase in those areas. You'll see the official work and resident impact of the care venue call system replacement project happen on the Monday after the holiday. There is a resident learning and listening session this Friday, and residents on the fourth floor of Catered are about to get their letters signaling which date they'll be out of their room. We have strategically not occupied the 2 respite suites on Catered fourth floor because Lily, Karen, and the team there are making them into kind of temporary spaces for residents to go during the day when they have to be out of their room. So you'll have, for example, maybe a 6 to 10 hour or so day, worst case, where that resident cannot be in their room because they're installing their new call system. So we want to have a space with a bed, a comfortable chair, a television, a restroom for them to have as their kind of home for the day during that project. So that's been strategic and intentional to have those respite suites vacant and to use for that purpose with this call light project in the month of July and into August. The short-term rehab center is nearly finished with its glow up. Nearly everything is done now on that unit in terms of procurement and actual facilities renovations. There's just a few suite floors to go, primarily a couple of bathrooms that are left to do in a couple of rooms. Things are pretty much wrapped up on that unit. We even got new visitor chairs recently, so sneak a peek, but to those of you that really loved those bouncing floral chairs in the rehab center, 1 or 25 could be yours at the sidewalk sale in a few weeks. So, start fighting over those because they're going to be there. And then again, just a reminder that we do have a small, select few 1-bedrooms available. As we've seen again, some movement to our care venues and growth in the catered living area. We have 1-bedrooms available to consider, of course, in your social networks yourselves as you think about, future planning for size of unit. We've also been working to intentionally make some units move-in ready. And that next one is 709. So 709 is now at our standards and ready for an immediate occupancy versus the stress and waiting timeline of renovation for a prospect or someone moving into that unit. As always, Amelicia, Gwenda, and that team can answer questions or speak to you if you have any interest or curiosities. You may have noticed that there's been concrete work happening around campus. Nothing else was going on, so we wanted to get new concrete too. Why not? The loading dock was re-poured and redone. And they have temporary stairs at that door. You might have seen those wooden stairs, because our steel stairs are on order. This is an immense safety and employee injury reduction project to have a way in which the staff can more safely use those stairs versus the concrete, and then also to have a redesign to our dock space for where the trash, the large dumpster is, right? Multiple staff, excuse me, have had, long-term impacts to like their shoulder from throwing all those trash bags. So we'll have a different design and process for which they can do that, which is a huge improvement for those colleagues. So that's very exciting. There's additional concrete work happening near the ambulance bay that you might have noticed too. If you haven't seen, I was going to put a picture. I was at the clinic yesterday and they have some big posters up now near the kind of few entrances or areas of the subway, but they've started doing additional rock fracturing last Friday. So we knew that they were having rock fracturing at the Osmond site, Monday through Friday, twice a day at those exact times. That's now also happening at the Waterman site. So you have 2 parts of the Bold Forward project now having that twice a day during the week rock fracturing. And if you're curious about rock fracturing, there is a whole toolkit and FAQ I could share with you. Certainly let us know if you want to learn more about the rock fracturing. The Prospect Plant project is really coming along. Our neighbor there, they are coming to speak at next month's town hall. Amelicia has coordinated that, and they will have colleagues here from the contracted support from Knutson, and they will speak to us about the power plant and the updates and project progress. Other project updates or general updates. The Charlton elevator, as we talked about last month, will close in late fall for a few weeks. We don't have any more information on that since last month. The only piece I will reiterate is that at some point during that closure of that elevator, we will also close the Skyway because we've ordered new doors. The doors on our Skyway contain the mullion currently, which is a barrier as our partnership with the clinic grows to support the short-term rehab center, care hotel, etc., and is a barrier right there in the middle of the door. So you'll see different doors coming our way around that same time during that elevator closure. Dawn Schomer, as always, is our primary point of contact for guest apartments. We have some great options and some availability, so if you ever have guests coming to town for one night, for a month, Dawn's your gal to talk to and to answer any questions on guest apartments. I wanted to point out on today's meeting as well that I think in the past week there's been 3 or maybe 4 in the last week and a half smoke alarm events that have happened from cooking. It happens, right? We all burn a bag of popcorn or we leave something on the stove, but there's been a handful in the very recent past here, just a good reminder, right? Please, watch your burners, watch closely if you're using your stove or your microwave. You want to keep everyone safe. We have had enough tests of the smoke alarm system, so don't worry, it works. You don't have to try it yourselves. We've got it. So we've also heard from some residents that you're storing items in your oven.
Oh dear.
Please don't do that. I know that maybe you have some things you'd like to optimize that storage in that oven. Please don't. Or if you're saying, I'm going to keep doing that, please let us know so we can unplug your oven. We'd be happy to do that for you. I would sleep much better at night if your oven was unplugged with all the Tupperware that you're storing in it. So again, enough on the smoke alarms, but please watch your kitchens closely. Okay, fire safety and evacuation plan. So on that same line, we have in our assisted living requirements, and as we know from our March visit from the fire department, a lot of components to our fire safety and evacuation plan given the size of our building and the nature of its occupants. If you have questions about what our plan is in an emergency, whether that is fire safety and evacuation or even another type of emergency, right? I'm happy to answer those, get you to that right person, and get the information. We have copies of some of our plans at the front desk. They were previously posted in the mailroom on the bulletin board, but with the mailroom bulletin board being removed at this time for the project, they're at the front desk. They can make you a copy. You can, again, contact myself. We also, in our new health record system, have asked them to add a custom field for evacuation category. Every one of you will have a category for evacuation in point-click care. Even if you do not receive services from us through home health, we're going to categorize you. What that does for us is it tells us in an emergency who can get themselves out downstairs alone, right? Maybe Judy's a green. She can do it. I'm not worried about Judy. Maybe I need to go check on somebody else who relies on a walker or a wheelchair, who I know could not go safely from the 21st floor out the main doors, right? So every person will have a kind of color code or a category to them in that system, so we can quickly, in an emergency, run a report, or we can review those at your care conferences, changes in condition, and make sure that we are always prepared with resource review for how to care for population. So a little update and awareness on that. As I've shared, we went live with our new health record, point-click care, on June 1st. It was very successful. Excuse me. There are many in this room that were working, 60 is a light number, hours per week in the last month to get that system ready to go, to audit information, to manually input it, to verify it was all correct, to get everything in order. Again, a huge thank you to our staff that made that happen, because it's been very successful. Soon, you will have the ability to access the system and see some information in it. That will be through the integrated event calendar. Lily and Kayla and others are working hard to plan for that implementation and rollout of that event calendar. But how nice would it be to have all of your Charter House events and activities or information in one place? Right? Your personal training appointment, maybe down the road your haircut. I don't know, I'm making this up, but how nice to have things in one place. And then also in time, you'll have the connected care portal component of it, where you can view some of your Charter House medical information. You couldn't do that with the old system. And as you think about it with Mayo, you have a portal at Mayo, right? You can view your information from your doctor's appointments or your medication list or your allergies, whatever else, right? You can't do that right now in our system. We have that capability though, so we're working to get that live, work with you all, so stay tuned. We also are still working on other integrated systems and wish list items now that we've gone live with this system. There are potential significant dining service enhancements through technologies that integrate to point-click care, as well as a system called AccuShield, or there are similar vendors that do digital sign-in. How nice would it be in an emergency to run a report and see who's in this building? Who's all checked in? Or wouldn't it be reassuring when you're walking the halls and someone is wearing a sticker that says they're a known checked-in visitor of Charterhouse versus, is that such and such a son, or is that person supposed to be here? A lot of benefits and reassurances for emergency preparedness, safety and security, and then also you can run reports from those systems to see, oh, I didn't realize maybe this person hasn't had a single visitor in 2 months, right? Let's go check on them. There are systems that have care meters or similar, right? That will say, who hasn't had a visit from a loved one or a friend in 30 days, 90 days. Let's focus on those individuals. How can we support them within our resources and our team? We had a new transporter start on Monday. I think his name is Andrew, right, Jess? Andrew. Andrew is a real sweet young man, and he will be here with us at least through this summer, providing transportation and resuming some coverage for those services to and from appointments at the clinic. So if you have some transportation needs, talk to Jess and she can partner with you and Andrew and get you on the schedule for that service. Again, that's a fee for service for those partnering with IHS. Bluestone Therapy. That remains our goal, to have a partnership. Again, our contract is 99% done. We've made it past all the key IT and legal hurdles, and we are aiming for a go live, hopefully maybe yet this year, of physical, occupational, and speech therapy on site in Charterhouse, complementing the Mayo therapy, which has a more reduced schedule in the 3rd floor gym for outpatients and does also not go to your apartment. So Bluestone will be able to come to your apartment through your Medicare Part B benefits with a provider order, for example, and do physical, occupational, and speech therapy. A real win. There's been a lot of residents who have asked for that, a mobile on-site therapy partner, because Mayo does not do that, and often the wait is longer to get in our 3rd floor outpatient gym or across the street. So we're hoping to see benefits in a shorter waiting time, more of a mobile on-site service, and greater billing capacities for your insurance coverage. So more to come very soon on that. Catered living. Lily and Gloria and the team do a great job there. As you know, there are no immediate openings at this time. As we know, things change every day. But yeah, the old assisted living center. If you have questions, interest, maybe your interest from a year from now, maybe you have a child visiting who hasn't been here in a year and they want to see what it's all about in case you need it, take a tour. Lily and Gloria and the team can certainly set that up for you, or think about the 3rd floor down the road as well for that waiting list. Just for reference, again, we've talked about this most months, but this is our current versus beginning of the year occupancy. So again, you can see we have a strong occupancy and a lot of demand in our community. Upcoming events. As we mentioned, there is a state survey next Wednesday, week from today, for the bulk of the day. Out of that 1st floor conference room, they will pick 21 or so random residents. They will also survey some families. So you may have a loved one get a letter or a call from Vital Research, just an awareness there too. We are about to start our Alzheimer's Walk fundraising activities for the summer and fall, the first of which is on July 8th, 2 weeks from today. Yeah, I have a typo. Okay, the 8th is Wednesday. 2 weeks from today, we will have an ice cream social with our kind of new-ish ice cream machine partnership that we have with some colleagues across the street. And we will have the Alzheimer's, you may have seen them like those purple and different colored flowers, those paper flowers. We'll have those for sale, and we're going to have a display of them on the big glass walls in the fitness center, is my understanding. So that will be in a couple of weeks. I made an error there, I apologize. The sidewalk sale is the 10th, right, Michelle? The 10th. Friday the 10th, the sidewalk sale. 11th is Saturday, scratch that. It is the 10th, the sidewalk sale on Friday from 10 to 2. Okay? It'll be a smaller scale sale. There will not be public promotion really of it like there has been in previous years because it's a smaller items sale. August 12th, there'll be an ice cream fundraiser. Karen has called it Scooping for a Cause. So that will be with, again, our new ice cream machine partnership. So we'll have that and have some fun waffle bowls and things like that later this summer. And then we will have, similar to last year, we had a cake pop and lemonade stand fundraiser. We'll do something similar again in early September for our Alzheimer's Walk team. The Alzheimer's Walk is on September 26th. We look forward to going to that again this year, just like last year. In September, we also have our Charterhouse 5K at 3 Links Park. And we are still finalizing dates for our Roots and Spirit book release party. And we are considering the idea of having an elevated, ticketed dining event fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Walk. So think like maybe a coursed, upscale, smaller size party, ticketed dining event fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Walk team. So we're just working with our dining colleagues on that right now, but looking forward to that too. A lot going on here at Charterhouse, to say the least. Some staffing updates before we go to questions. Our Director of Facilities, again, Tom Behrens, has been our interim. We have picked a finalist, and they're in the process of making that offer to him through HR. So, crossing our fingers and toes on that one, but feeling very optimistic, targeting a late July start. The fitness center positions, I think were offered for Tai Chi and for Wendy's successor. So more to come there from Lily, Lindsay, and Jack. But we're excited about that. Look forward to having those team members with us soon. And then the Director of Nursing, we had an accepted offer from our finalist there too. They will start July 15th, and Allie's last day is July 17th, so just about a month from now. Want to also recognize and appreciate Allie and the clinical leadership team's work for all of our, again, Go Live efforts and initiatives, all the projects in this last year and a half under her tenure, and also point out that we continue to reduce our reliance on nursing contracted labor. So we talked about that a few months ago, that we had to bring a few nurses in temporarily to help us while our staff got trained and focused on that new health record Go Live, right? Allie and her team have done a great job reducing that already from where we were a month ago, and have a plan to fully end that later in the summer, August. So we're optimistic about that as well. So good things happening there, and again, thank you to Allie and to that whole team. I've been talking for 47 minutes. So I hope somebody else can take a turn. Lori has a question. I'll make the rounds with the microphone, okay, Lori?
No, I can speak loud.
Mm-hmm.
How long will the elevator to the subway be closed? And what's the alternative for us who use the subway for walking?
Second, Lori. This one says it's not working properly. I'll try this one. Oh, it's, okay. Use your error, okay. There we go, how about that? Technology, I tell you. Lori's question was, how long will the elevator be down in Charlton?
on the second floor?
They've told us 2 to 6 weeks in the late fall before winter.
And how will we access for us that use the subway for walking experience?
Lori's second question is, how will you access the subway? There will have to be an alternative entrance into the subway for us during that time. I'm not sure which one they're going to recommend. I don't have that information today, but certainly as we learn it as it gets closer, myself, Tom, and our new Director of Facilities can work with you and get that information out to everyone. I am confident that Mayo will have a plan for us. Did you have a question, Peg?
Yes. Can you explain to us why we are having an Alzheimer's walk and all the fundraisers? Because as a resident, I've never heard why that was decided.
So Peg's question is why are we having an Alzheimer's walk and why are we having Alzheimer's walk fundraisers? Good question. The Rochester area, along with most other areas in our country, have local walks for the Alzheimer's Association. We participated last year for the first year. The association certainly is very applicable for our population and the work that we do here, and their work certainly is greatly impactful to us. There's also a strong LCS partnership and a lot of involvement from other senior living communities in that Rochester walk. When we were there last year, some of you were with us last year at the walk, most other senior livings were present. And you see them also supporting that association with fundraising events. For example, you see, the Waters and other True Memory Cares or other assisted living communities supporting and participating also. It seems important from a community perspective as well to do that and just to support the cause, right? It's a really important organization. Would welcome more discussion or consideration certainly from the council, Rosemary, or other talking offline as well on that topic. But there has been notable resident and staff interest in doing it. So it seemed appropriate to keep it up again for year 2 based on the interest from last year. Great question though. Other questions? Barry, let me just say I can't control the noise.
Well, you could try.
I can try? Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. With all the talk about Alzheimer's and keeping, watching what happens to people,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we're finally going to be able to do memory care. Because it would seem that with all the emphasis on Alzheimer's and stuff, that would be something we would focus on. 2 other things. So the bus, I'm wondering what the status of the bus is. And lastly, is there possible to have an organization chart to know who, because there's been such a turnover here, it's very hard to know who reports to whom. So I'm just wondering if there's an organization chart that shows all the people and who they report to and what units they're in.
3 great questions. We'll take them one at a time. The first question, Barry, was in regards to the bus, right?
Well, it was memory.
Oh, memory care, sorry. The first question is, can we get a memory care? Unfortunately, as it stands today, we are not able to parse out a wing, for example, our enhanced living, which really does in a lot of ways feel like a potential memory care community could be, right? Has that very soft aesthetic, the really serene, Serenity Room, the GEP program. The way that the Minnesota law currently stands is that we have 1 entrance, 1 address, 1 license. And in Minnesota, for assisted living, in Minnesota, we cannot parse out and get the other dementia care license, which would allow us to have a memory care designation because of that. It's challenges certainly in the law and in the way in which it's written. Chris and I continue to advocate and to partner with Mayo colleagues and others on that topic. But right now we are there's no pathway or ability for us to change our licensure. If we did, we would have to reapply and have the entire campus licensed as dementia care. That's true. It seems like a joke, but that's a reality in Minnesota assisted living law at this time. It wasn't too long ago, I just mentioned the cutting boards having too many scores, right? So, I mean, that's, yeah.
Yeah, org chart was one, and the last one was the bus.
Bus. Okay, what is the status on the bus? Great question. I just met with colleagues this week to talk about potential pathways or considerations. I expect to hear back in the near term. We know that we have an existing agreement with Groom, and Groom does not have these buses currently, right? They've not been a previous product of Groom, but others might, which we saw in our demonstration from Rochester City Lines after this meeting last month. Working closely with Sandy, obviously Michelle, Sandy's leader Stephanie from operations at Groom, and our Mayo colleagues regarding other options. So remains an active discussion point and a top of mind area for me and for I know many of you on the bus. Absolutely still in the works. Org chart was the last question. Yes, if you have questions about who reports to who or who do I go to with this issue, happy to talk about that. If it would be helpful, we could also put maybe our director organization chart or kind of a high level maybe in a future publication or maybe even like the weekly update, just a high level of, you know whether it's Allie's successor, facility, some of those new names.
Yeah, because there's been a big turnover, so
Sure.
it's hard to remember them all.
Yeah, that's a great point. Can definitely do that. When we have those two names announced, I think that would be a logical then time to do it after that, when those two names are announced. Absolutely. Great questions, Barry. No noise concerns today?
Well, I could raise that too.
Okay. All right. You know my answer. You heard about the rock fracturing earlier, right?
Yeah, I'm more worried about the fire alarms and,
Yeah.
and whether or not we when you start inserting them, whether or not there'll be a lot of issues with that going all over.
Yep, good question. Other questions? I know we're almost at time. Any comments? Shirley, yeah.
What are they doing in the mailroom that's going to take so long?
What are they doing in the mailroom that is going to take so long?
When you can't move the boxes at the floor.
What was the question?
Yes. What are they going to do in the mailroom that's going to take so long? I'm going to get the description wrong. I'm going to put it on my phone. We just had a conversation earlier this morning. Our project manager was here. He said that they have to take, let me find it now. Okay. He said, the work in the mailroom is proceeding along on schedule. The mailroom mailboxes are being sent out for professional recoding. Y'all are so happy about that. Wow. Okay, yes. This may involve sandblasting and retaining factory thickness. So that's what I know about that. So it will be repainting of the mailroom mailboxes, and then certainly the other pieces to it of course, the redesign, the seating, the lighting, things like that. I am not a designer, but I field your questions and concerns daily as much as possible and try to get you those answers. So I appreciate you bringing them up. Again, we are 8 days into a 6-month project, so appreciate your understanding and your grace as we go along. Any other questions? Yeah, Al.
I heard a rumor.
Oh, great.
I heard a rumor that you have requested Mayo Clinic to buy Central Park and tear down all the trees and build a ballroom for the use of...
That's correct. Yes. Al's got it down. Oh, would you... Al, Al, they would like you to repeat the rumor that you heard.
You would
Repeat it, they couldn't hear it.
I heard a rumor that our leader has requested of Mayo Clinic to buy Central Park,
Sure.
tear down all the trees, and build a $6 billion ballroom
Where did you read
for
that?
the use of Charter House residents. And I'm just wondering if that's true or not.
Well, what a note to close on, Al. Happy to debunk that one.
Where did you read that?
I'm teasing.
I know. I appreciate that very much, Al. Thank you all again. Again, your support and your patience and tolerance and your resilience through these projects is so appreciated, making this an even greater home and place to work. Any final questions or comments? If not, again, thank you for coming today. Thank you, as always, for all that you do to show support to myself and to our team. Next town hall is here. Thank you once again.